1990, 10th hole, little several-man playoff, eagle chip, end of tournament, the Shark. That was a good one.
That was a really good one. The intensity of that week was phenomenal. Considering that last round, Peter, was just incredible. I think I was close to 9 or 8 shots back with 14 holes to go on a Sunday, and just kind of like put it on the afterburners, and away we went.
You know, it's a very easy golf course.
Oh, the Blue Monster's easy. That's Jimmy McLean, you know.
Let's ask him now. What's an easier golf course, the Monster or the new White course by Greg Norman at Doral?
Well, I got to tell you, Peter, the Great White is unbelievable. Great show, Peter. Hello, Greg.
Jimmy,
Nice to be with you, James.
You know, I've seen Greg, or at least, you know, his helicopter down here in Miami many times lately, and his new golf course here, the Great White, is really something. And I just wanted to say that Greg Norman also has a really great gift for golf design.
Well, thank you, Jimmy. I enjoy it, but it's not only me. I've got a great crew of guys, too, who are behind the scenes. But, you know, you have to have the vision to see it. And one of the unique projects that I've ever done is the White course at Doral. We started with 98 acres of land. Of that 98 acres, there was 15 acres of lake. And Jimmy, you know the yardage of the White course, I think it was like 6,700 yards, 6,680.
Yeah, well, it was about 6,400, I think.
6,400.
Yeah.
And now it was just a pure game of geometry. How do you put a tournament golf course on 83 acres of land? So we spent, Jimmy, you saw how many times I was down there with Jason McCoy and Matt, my guys who were there all the time. So it became a game of geometry. I spent time moving a green 5 yards here or a tee 4 yards there. And at the end of the day, we've got a golf course 7,160 yards long. And I think it's a pretty good test. We've completely changed the character. I wanted not to go the same direction as the Blue Monster, Jimmy. As you know, I wanted to create, I think we have 186 pot bunkers there. In the Blue Monster, there's a lot of sand and one big bunkers. So I created a golf course that's more strategic than it is anything else. You have to play, and the great part about it, it's a great walker's golf course because you walk off the green and you're teeing it up 4 or 5 steps later on the tee. And I think from that aspect, I can't wait to play it. And Jimmy, I'm coming down here pretty soon.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can play with us.
Well, I'd love that. And, you know, I'll tell you, everybody at Doral KSL Recreation is so excited to have the Shark Shootout coming here in 2000. And I think it's got a great chance to be the best course of 2000. I've really never seen anything like it in Florida, and it's a kind of a combination of Scotland and maybe an Arizona course, but it's so unique. Reminds me a little bit of the Medalist up there, which I also love. But I got a question for you. Do you think you'd ever, really go hard, 100% at the architecture aspect of the business? Or I know you've got so many things going on, but you really have a special talent, I think, for that design.
Well, thanks, Jimmy. I do love to do it. I just opened a golf course in Houston, the Meadowbrook Farms, and it's a mixture of all those things you mentioned, the Mackenzie, the Ross, the Tillinghasses, and all that stuff courses I love to play. But I think right now, Jimmy, I've got a great balance. The guys that work for me, we do about 7 golf courses a year at each project. You saw the number of times I go down the White course. That's pretty much indicative of how I attend most of the other projects that I do. If I went beyond that, I couldn't give the quality of time that I feel necessary that you need to put in to each golf course. Now, when I stop playing golf completely, of course, I'll be able to increase my number of projects, maybe 2, maybe 3-fold. I'd like to be able to do 20 golf courses a year. I think that I get such a kick out of it. And the biggest kick I get out of it is starting with a virgin piece of land, just walking the woods, seeing where we're going to put the clubhouse, and beginning with the end in mind. You know, that's how you got to start. You got to vision it all, put it out there, even with the scrub and underbrush and all that stuff, and say, okay, boys, this is where it's going to go. And then coming along and massaging it as the construction takes place. And so, Jimmy, hopefully I'll never get out of it because it's one of my parts of my business that I truly love to do.
Now, Jimmy just did some work on the Blue Monster, so when you're down visiting the White course next, give us a report on what kind of an architect he is.
I will do it. And Jimmy did a great job because I went down the first hole because he was making some rearrangements and with the auspices of Raymond Floyd, Jimmy, I do believe, right? He was very supportive
Very supportive,
Very supportive. And Raymond I know when I was with Jimmy about 2 visits before, he had just almost finished the first hole, and I went down there, and he's done a very good job putting the golf course back where he feels it necessary to go.
Well, I'll tell you, Greg, it was very impressive. I know how busy you are, and I'll tell you, I think we're all surprised how many times you were down there, and I'm really serious. It's one of the greatest pieces of work I've done, and that land wasn't the best, I didn't think, but I'll tell you what, it's a fabulous place, and it's been a great show. Great listening to you.
Great to be with you, sir. Now, I'm sorry you're not with us, Jimmy, for this next bit, because one of the other businesses that Greg is in is now the wine business, and we've got, this is a...
That's the Merlot.
This is the Merlot, and now we have a...
We have the Chardonnay here.
Thank you very much, Chris.
This is an amazing sequence here, Peter. I mean, Carlton United Breweries is one of our most successful breweries in Australia, let alone the world. They make Foster's for one. You may have heard of Foster's beer.
I have.
You may have seen those little 10-second commercials that we have, but they wanted to. They own a winery in Australia called Mildara Blas, and it's one of our great wineries of our country. But they wanted to get exposure here in the United States, and they really couldn't get over the first hurdle. And they thought, well, maybe the association with myself, being Australian, living in the United States, might be just the kicker that they need. Well, we never anticipated the success of this wine. Wine Spectator rated the Merlot as a 91, and this was an 89. We started production for the year. We anticipate or budgeted 25,000 cases. We'll do 88,000 cases the first year. And now we're actually in the process of looking for a home for our wine. That means going out, buying a winery, I suppose. I guess that's like the turf farm. I love the grass that I have, so I went and bought a turf farm to supply the grass. And that's where we are right now. And the wine has been a huge success, and that's just in the United States. I launched it in Japan 2 weeks ago. We were never going to do it in Australia. Now they want to put it out in Australia. So, touch wood, I hope it keeps going the way it's going. And I like a glass of wine. Laura and I always have a glass of wine every night. Not to say we slosh it down, but we
Are you
just...
going to offer any to like the people with you now, or is that bottle just going to
like
sit there like that? I would.
All right, okay.
I don't know if you're going to quite get around to it without a prompting here.
Well, I have to give it the plug.
It's a pretty good plug.
So, but it's been very successful. Now, I've enjoyed it, and are we going to set a standard on your show now where you have to have a glass of wine?
Only if it's rated 89 or better.
I'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and everybody out there. There's a red light on over here, so I can look down that camera. Okay, I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and wish the new millennium to everybody, no matter what you do, happy, healthy, and successful. I look forward to coming out and playing. We've still got another 15 minutes yet, so I won't say goodbye to you.
Appreciate that.
Merry Christmas, everybody, and Merry Christmas
Thanks.
to you.
Same to you and your family, Greg. We'll be right back, everybody. When was that?
83. I mean, 83. Am I doing?
Oh, are you in trouble?
Oh, am I in trouble to get 81?
We can't take over this either.
No, I know. You got that delay, don't you? Could you cut that out?
No delay, but we could have a little chat about it. Why don't we talk to a good buddy of yours and somebody who's been working with you a great deal, David Ledbetter. David, how are you tonight, sir?
Hi, Peter. Hi, Greg. How are you?
Very well, David. And yourself, bud?
Good, thank you. I thought I'd just get in touch with you guys before you had too much to drink there. So, but Peter, I just wanted to just reiterate, obviously, what Jim McLean had said. I think possibly that Greg's talent as a player could be superseded in the years to come by his talent as an architect. Greg's building the Champions Gate facility, which we're moving into in July, and it is amazing what these two golf courses are going to be like. They're two totally different golf courses. One's going to be sort of an Australian linksy type course, I know, which Greg's really looking forward to doing, and his attention to detail is just unbelievable, and it's really you can see, I think, Greg, it's sort of obviously part of your makeup, the way you've become as a player and as an architect. I mean, the detail is fantastic, and I know that, that through certain people we met, you've got a great job in Spain, and really, I had no hesitation recommending Greg because I think he's one of the finest architects around right now, and I think his skill as a player, his eye, you just do an amazing job. So we're really looking forward to this Champions Gate deal, and I just also want to know, hey, what commitment are you going to have for next year? Because, say, for a part-time player, you've done great this year.
I'm just going to say, before you and McLean have him retired and doing other
That's
jobs,
right,
can we
yeah.
talk a little bit about golf for a second here?
Yeah, he's got a little bit. I think he's got a little bit more left in him. I think everybody knows that Greg may be, in his early 40s, but I mean, probably has the fitness of a man in his early 30s. Greg, what are you going to do for next year?
David, I'm going back to a full schedule. I spoke to Dr. Hawkins, and he basically gave me the opportunity of going back and hitting 400 or 500 balls a day now. And I couldn't practice properly hitting 100 to 150 balls.
Yeah.
By the time you got ready to get going, I had to stop. And Dr. Hawkins has been fantastic with me for 18 months now. My rehab is basically over. And now I can go back to do what I love to do, and that's purely practice. And I've seen a huge difference, David, and through your help, hitting the 400 or 500 balls a day, I'm getting a feel of my golf swing back again. And before it was more of a stiff approach to it because maybe I was protecting my shoulder or protecting other ailments or whatever in your body. But now I'm ready to go play. I'm mentally ready to play. I'm mentally ready to practice. And that makes me feel good within inside myself because I know I've got plenty of good years left in me.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. And hey, you've got all these 18-year-olds that you got to challenge these days too.
Well, it's great to see that. I think that's very, very healthy for the game of golf, David. I mean, not only that, they come from all walks of, not walks of life, but all corners of the globe. You've got Australia, you've got Spain, and obviously you've got Tiger right here. And you know what? There are kids just as good as these kids out there. There are plenty of Tiger Woods. There are plenty of this, Aaron Baddeley's, and there's plenty of Sergio Garcias. And that's because of people like David, and that's because of people like who get involved with the golf and the institutions and the people who want to promote junior golf. And I played with three guys in Australia, David, in a practice round with Aaron Baddeley and a guy called Wayne Pertzer, and Kim Felton from Australia. And I tell you what, all three of them were as good as each other. And Aaron Baddeley went on to win the Australian Open. I was so impressed with all of their demeanor and their style of play and their approach to the game. And it made me proud to be Australian because I know now Australia's got a very healthy group of young adults coming through that's going to carry our flag for a long, long time to come.
Well, they've still got one who's a little older, who I think's got a number of years left in the game, and I'm looking forward to sort of getting together over this winter and getting you charged up for next year. I know it won't take much, but I think you've got some great golf left within you, and I think, hey, those young bucks better watch out next couple of years.
Well, thanks, David.
Thanks for checking in, David.
All right, Peter.
Great to hear your voice.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Let's talk about another young buck, and that's the one that belongs to you, Gregory. I understand last year he played in the Junior British Open, and of course you would be with him. How exciting was that for you as a parent to see that?
Well, it was exciting, frustrating, nerve-wracking. I felt for him because he never played on a links golf course with Heather before and Gorse, and he'd hit it in there, and he'd go to swing the golf club, and the ball wouldn't come out because unless you've experienced it, it's so different. And I bled for him, I really did, because I know he felt pretty good about his game going in there, and I think he learned a huge lesson. He learned a huge lesson, the fact that golf is a very humbling experience. And you don't know, one day you might shoot 64 or 63, the next day you might be in the mid-70s, just on our level. Or if you're an amateur, you could hit that one great shot during the round, and then you might shoot 104 or 5 or 6. So it's an extremely humbling game, and you've got to treat each shot and each day as you come to it. And he's learned a lot. I love, we play on the weekends when we're home together. Just the two of us will run out and play. He's got a lot of talent, but I'd love to see him just play the game for fun. I'd hate to see him get completely immersed in it, where it just takes too much time from him, because I want him to enjoy all the other sports and whatever life can give him out of high school and school.
When we come back, let's talk about the girls in the house, and we'll spend a couple more minutes with Greg Norman right after this. At the risk of making you feel old, tell me about your 17-year-old daughter, Morgan Lee.
Oh, great kid. 17, we only have to throw our mind back a little bit to remember when we were 17, Peter. So, you know, I just got a huge amount of respect for both my children, but Morgan is a consummate worker. She's very dedicated. She's very project orientated, I would say. She needs to do a job, she'll go do it. She'll take the time out of her schedule to make sure the job is done. She's motivated in that way. Her application to soccer is just phenomenal. She wants to be better with every game. I've been out there and practiced
Sounds like her
goal
dad.
kicking. So it's just, I love her in that regard because she's got a huge amount of spirit, and she's just like a mother. She's got a smile on her face all the time. She's always happy.
You better talk about her mother because you missed the wedding date, so you better get
Yeah, that's
you better
true.
fix that up right now. We got a few seconds left.
Well, you know, I mean, to me, you know, my wife is my best friend, and my lover and my wife, you know, so you've got it all wrapped up in one. And really, for us to travel as much as what we do, you got to have a great woman behind you. And if you don't, it's going to be a huge struggle. She basically keeps the household together because I travel close to 40 weeks a year. She travels maybe 50% of that time with me, but she's really the backbone. She's the one who makes the system work, because when I come home, I expect it to work. You know, typical me, why isn't this working? Why isn't that working? But she does a huge job, and you know, I love it to death, and for that, we'll go on forever and a day. So yeah, I've got a great family. I'm extremely happy.
I just wish you the best of everything, and I'm so appreciative that you would take the time to come by and spend a couple hours here.
Enjoyed it. We'll do it again.
Good
if
luck.
You like. Let's not make it 5 years.
I look forward to that, and we'll do it right after the next victory, and I hope that's real soon.
Okay.
Thanks again for
Thank
being
you.
here. Thank you for being here, everybody. Good night.